What's up? Happy New Year. So I just figured that what better way to start the new year than to talk about nutrition, because training is one thing, but what every single person out there wants to know is how to eat, what's healthy, what's going to make them lose weight, all this stuff. That's at the bottom of everything. So just wanted to run down and kind of real quickly get to the bottom of what you should be doing. So this is meant to be quick help. These are big rocks. These are things that you really want to focus on. This isn't going to get too much into the nitty gritty of anything. The purpose is do these things, stay away from the other things. If you put most of your focus into this stuff, you're going to be in a good spot. So to start, detoxes. Just got to talk about that because it's a new year. People are looking for quick fixes. People are looking for major overhauls of their routines. That's natural. We want to make a change, so that's good. There's good motivation there, except the route that most of us are looking to go down is wrong. You get sold by these big claims of, no sugar, no carbs, low fat, whatever it is, no dairy, gluten-free. Some of these things can be good for people if you have issues, actual medical issues with dairy, with gluten. However, aside from that, these are all just buzzwords. It's all the stuff that just kind of pops into your face. Sounds good, sounds sexy. Let's do this. I haven't been doing that. I eat gluten, so no wonder I can't lose weight. So that's kind of what the marketing is, and the mindset is there. Don't do that. They don't work. You're gonna fall off eventually. It's gonna suck. You're gonna go through a lot of pain and suffering for nothing. The only good things I would say that come out of things like this are they get you to be consistent with something and disciplined to eating a certain way, which is good. However, they're building bad habits because they're not sustainable. But and it's also teaching you a little bit of, okay, I don't need all these extra things. So I do think that can be a good learning experience from it. However, if a mindset comes in where it's like, oh, I shouldn't be eating that, or I can't be eating that, that's bad. So there is a fine line of like learning that, oh, you don't need all these extra things, you don't need all these sugary treats, you don't need to go out and eat this crap all the time. But it's definitely not just black and white of, oh, I need to take all that out of my diet, or screw it, I'm just gonna eat all of that because who cares, I'm gonna be fat anyways. So there are things that can be learned from these things, but you need to know that and not go into it thinking that it's going to change everything for you, because it's not. You're not gonna stick to it. None of these things is magical. The weight that you're losing initially is water weight. It's from the lack of carbohydrates. Your body's not storing glycogen, which holds water in the muscles. That's getting depleted, so you're not holding as much water. The weight you're losing is water weight. It's not fat. Yes, you may lose some fat initially. You may lose some muscle initially if you're doing something like this, because a lot of times it's extreme and not healthy. Just know that these changes are temporary, and not only that, but they can actually be bad because they can have a rebound effect. You can actually come back, and especially if you're prone to any type of binge eating, coming off of those is gonna be not pretty. So keep that in mind. I totally understand if you want to do it to try something new or just be more disciplined. I get it. I know I'm not here to tell you that this is the worst thing you could ever do, but I am telling you that it's potentially dangerous in terms of kind of like a toxic mindset, toxic relationship with food, and definitely unrealistic expectations. So keep all those things in mind. Rambled about detoxes for a while because that's a big thing of what everybody's doing right now at the beginning of the year. But real quickly, we knock these other ones out. Protein and calories are two things that you should be very concerned about. If you're concerned about health, yes, and body composition, so just the overall aesthetic of how you look, less fat, more muscle, maybe not even more muscle in your case, but less fat. These things are still important. So like I said, protein and overall calories. Carbs and fats are highly overrated in terms of body composition and how it affects that. So I would suggest tracking these things, or at least loosely tracking them and paying attention to them. So for protein, you're going to want to hit around 1 gram per pound of body weight. This can seem like a lot for some of you, and yes, this does apply to females as well. You don't need to be hitting exactly that, but you should be getting relatively close. If you are a 120-pound female, you should absolutely be hitting 100 grams of protein a day. No questions asked. A lot of you, some of you may see this and be like, well, there's no way. I can't do that. Yes, you can. It may be very different from what you're doing now, but it is possible. So like I said, that's for anybody. Health, gaining muscle, looking more toned because that's more muscle, losing fat, all those things require adequate protein intake. Won't get too much into the science of it here, just believe me for now. Like I said, calories, the other big thing. Calories in, calories out is the determinant of weight gain and weight loss. Now, this is kind of a debated topic because it's like, I need to eat clean and eat healthy. And yes, there's a lot more that goes into it. It's not as simple as calories in, calories out for overall health, for performance. But for the majority of you that just want to lose weight, that just want to look better, calories is the king of things that you should be paying attention to. Again, I would highly suggest you track this. Are you going to be tracking forever? No. I know that's not, the most, 80% of people out there aren't going to be tracking forever, and that's fine. I think it's a great tool, and for some of us, it works very, very well as accountability. But it's also huge for awareness. So you should absolutely be doing that up front. So even if it's for 2 weeks, for a month, you should absolutely do it. No less than 2 weeks. Track your food, even roughly. Don't get too caught up in like, I went out to eat and I can't track that. Just estimate things. It's not the end of the world because you're never going to get the absolute exact portion. So just don't worry about that. Get what you can in there. Start tracking these things. You can use the app MyFitnessPal. You can get that for free. Smartphone. You can use it on the computer too. So absolutely do that. Protein, calories. Message me or comment below or whatever if you have more questions about that. Like I said, I can get into more specifics in a different video, but just kind of want to say high level for now. And then really the last part of this is, the third thing here is more of a mindset, more of a habit thing, and that's to be flexible and allow yourself to be imperfect. So sticking to a routine is very important. It's one of the best ways to be successful, but at the same time, you do need to have a little bit of flexibility. If you are kind of trying to plan your day of what you want to eat, you're prepping your meals here and there, or you have at least an outline of what you're going to eat today, and then all of a sudden something comes up where it's like, we're going out to dinner later, you want to join? Sure. If you can't stick with exactly what the plan was, that's fine. Still make smart choices. Just try to be flexible. Don't go off the rails, and just kind of get back on track the next day. This consistency from day-to-day routine and allowing yourself to be imperfect here and there is really what's going to allow you to be successful. So you're not counting on this 30-day thing. You're not counting on, this 2-week cleanse, whatever it is. You're focusing more on changing your behaviors, changing your routines, and changing your mindset towards these things. That's where the real success is going to be. It's also more work. So you need to be real with yourself. Are you just trying for a quick fix, or do you really want to make a change? That's something you need to come to terms with and kind of really look at. Most of us know that. It's one of those things where you may not want to admit it, but in your gut, you know if you're willing to put the work in and get better at something, or if you're not and you're just hopeful. So something to consider. Like I said, consistency is the key here, and that really comes from being prepared. So prep your food, take a Sunday, go to the grocery store, prep a handful of meals. It doesn't need to be every single meal for the week. You know, I think a lot of people, when they talk meal prep, you look at, or you visualize what bodybuilders do, and they box up, Tupperwares of chicken and tuna and rice for the entire week. Not saying you need to do that. Take a couple, make some things in bulk. Take a couple meals that you want to make on a Sunday, 2 or 3 things. Make a handful of servings. Eat off of that throughout the week. Just enough to kind of have the staples. And then from there you can fill in the gaps. And you should be able to do a pretty good job of that. Even if you are eating out here and there, still making relatively good choices, you can do well. So those are the big things. To review, detoxes, don't need them, not gonna help you. Number 2, focus on protein and calories. Carbs and fats, sure, they matter to an extent, but as long as you have both protein and calories under control, you're gonna be good to go. And then final one is just be consistent, which comes down to being prepared, and then the overall mindset of understanding that you're gonna be imperfect. Failure on a daily basis is inevitable, but something that you can handle, and you will not be failing overall. So stick to those things and you'll be good to go. Let me know if you have questions down below, message me, whatever. Happy New Year, guys, and talk to you soon.